Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, let's talk heavyweights, y'all. AJ News, Anthony Joshua done came in and said a few things about, the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder little thing, right? Basically, Anthony Joshua, and this is funny, right, to me, because when I read the headline, I was like, what? So I was just thinking, I had to quote one of my favorite tennis players, my second favorite tennis player of all time, right? John McEnroe. You cannot be serious, right? That's what I was just, you cannot be serious. You wouldn't believe this. So a lot of people who follow heavyweight boxing the last 2.5, 3 years, you would be surprised at this, right? Now, Anthony Joshua fans won't be. I'm hoping even they might have something to say about this. But Anthony Joshua has come out and said he thinks that Kubrat Pulev, his mandatory contender, should step aside, and Deontay Wilder should step aside and let him and Tyson Fury have the undisputed match, right? Undisputed match in Britain, right? Now, that's the kind of thing that I would think he would probably say in private. In private, you can be saying that, have a drink or two and just say that. But in front of people to feel comfortable enough to say that in public is alarming to me. And I'm being serious here for a second here. Now, we'll put it on the light side, but that's alarming. There's something wrong. It's like, Trump continuously, Donald Trump, saying a lot of bad things constantly, right? The reason why he does is because his fan base doesn't care, right? Literally don't care. As long as he's kind of racist, he'll be fine, right? He knows that. So when he gets in trouble, he goes to that. So a lot of these boxers have fans like that. They can do no wrong. And this is an opportunity to make sure you say, hey, dude, that one, you're gonna say now that Deontay Wilder and Kubrat Pulev, who've been waiting forever, Deontay Wilder, who has a contract to fight Tyson Fury, should step aside so you can have an undisputed fight, right? Undisputed fight. Now, let me read what he said in the article. It's kind of funny to me, you know what I'm saying? But let me just read what he said in the article. He was talking to Sky Sports, of course, because he wasn't talking to nobody in America, because he probably wouldn't have said that. But he was talking to Sky Sports, and he said, it would be amazing to tell Pulev, I think it's best if you step aside for now. And to tell Wilder, we have bigger fish to fry, right? Now think about that. And then he came back to Wilder again and said another, enjoy your Alabama chicken while we get cracking in the UK, urged Joshua to Wilder. Now, this is what he said, this is the last sentence. That fight needs to happen because there will never be another time like this again, he added. Right? Now, if that nothing happened prior to that, that would be awesome. You know how it is about undisputed around here. That's all I care about, really. Not all, but it's the main thing in boxing because boxing makes it so hard to become undisputed that undisputed you shouldn't kind of let that get on the back burner, get other things, lose your focus in terms of undisputed because there's so many champions and so many belts that they put in front of you and so many weight divisions that you forget to say, hey, it's not too much to ask as a boxing consumer to say, hey, can we find out who the best is in that division? Whatever division it is, there's millions of them now. So we can at least have one champion. And if we have one champion in every division, we still have about 17, 18 champions running around, right? But think about 17 times 4. 4 sanctioned bodies that matter. And if you put the IBO, the IBA, IBU, and all, and there's a lot of them coming in there, you're going to have about 8 people that's call them champions in every weight division. So we don't want that. So that's why it's not so much to ask to have one champion. Now, your boy, Tyson Fury, right? Not Tyson Fury, but Anthony Joshua, was negotiating with Deontay Wilder forever. And I would not go into that. We know it's ridiculous how often that, we wanted one champion. So he's saying that Anthony Joshua was saying that we need to have one champion, right? Right? It needs to happen because there will never be another time like this again. Right? So when you're thinking about that, you're like, well, doesn't that sound the same as one champion, one face, one name, and his name is Deontay Wilder? We've been hearing that for the last 2.5 years. We've been seeing negotiations, and Joshua and them did not want to do that. So as soon as Deontay Wilder loses, then he's ready to do that. Now let's make sure this is clear. After he came back and beat Andy Ruiz Jr., right, in the rematch, he could have said it then. Deontay Wilder was ready to rumble then for undisputed, right? Deontay Wilder, because Tyson Fury was fighting Wallin and Slots and them, and didn't fight Deontay Wilder in an immediate rematch. What their contract said, but he didn't. He did something. Tyson Fury did something else. So right then, if Joshua would have said, "Hey, undisputed again," he could have had Deontay Wilder, but that energy wasn't there. Now, everyone in boxing knows that they have a trilogy. Wilder and Tyson Fury. Everybody, all promoters, everyone knows that they are going to fight again. Been knowing it for months. And he's hollering about it now, screaming about it now. It reminds me of all the fighters that seem to want to fight now because everybody can't fight because we're quarantined. Y'all won't hear about that here because that's, let's see what happens after the dust settles and when they really can fight, right? Because it's like everybody, you start hearing names like, man, I wasn't hearing you talk to this dude like that before, right? And it's just way too much of that. You couldn't keep up with how much people are talking now. Let's see what happens when we can get closer to each other, close enough to throw a left hook, and then see if people are still talking like that. I just don't fall for it, so I don't really report that, right? But it seems to be a very, very weird, and I hope his fans get on him about that because what happens is a lot of people just think things are supposed to just you know run their course, and you don't say anything about them, and they'll just leave. Now, Deontay, your boy Anthony Joshua seems to just think that everybody's just gonna not realize that you were just didn't want undisputed the whole time while Wilder was begging you and giving you all kind of deals. Everything you offered him, not everything, 12.5 million he didn't take flat fee, but after that 15 million, he won a 60-40, whatever. Like I told you, I won't want to get into that because that's just ridiculous to keep continuing to do that. But like things are supposed to pass. I guess he thinks we forgot. You know, things we forgot. It's certain things that pass. Racist emails from Golden Boy to Ring Magazine wasn't on TV. Supposed to pass. Canelo was dope twice. Can't mention it. I mentioned it in the video of Canelo. You get thumbs down right away. Don't matter. Whatever. Don't even mention it. Don't mention it. Right? Dillian White, dope, talking all that stuff. He's back. You know. So Fury, got the gloves in 3 different fights. 3 different fights, his gloves look funny. Tyson Fury. 2 times with Deontay Wilder, the other with Christian Hammer. Won't nobody talk about it. Neither will they talk about the wild boar gate that's going on. Seems to just not be. No one's mentioning it, right? It's just hey, let's just not talk about it in unison, and it'll go away, and then you put a fight in real quick, and then people will forget about it, right? But that's not happening. But that's what they expect. And so I think that Anthony Joshua just thinks, well, my fans are, they don't care what I say. No, I'm not a fan of who's not going to say, hey, Joshua, now you shouldn't be talking about undisputed like that. When, hey, the reason why Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought is because you didn't. Right? Deontay Wilder has a loss now. That was supposed to be Anthony Joshua's job. As much smack as Deontay Wilder was talking all over in England, talking probably to the same people he was talking to, Sky Sports or whatever that morning show is there, Good Morning England or whatever, or Britain, right? He was on there calling them this and calling them that, and you a coward, you didn't want to fight. You know what I mean? So it's like people know what time it is. And that was undisputed. He wasn't saying, hey, let's fight for something. If you would have beat Deontay Wilder, then you would have had the belt. Now Fury has the belt, and now it has to happen now. Spoiled, and it shouldn't. So, and it's funny because I'm glad I said something about it, but, I wasn't the only one. They told them people about it, man. Bob Arum and your boy Shelly Finkel. They told them about it. What they say? Let me see. Um, let me see. Let me scroll down here. Let me see what he said. Because Arum and them came in. Now, I think Shelly Finkel said, we have covered this, and there's nothing more to add other than we are looking forward to fighting Fury. That's all, right? And I wasn't aware of Anthony Joshua said until World Boxing News came to me. I honestly don't know what Anthony Joshua was smoking. This is Bob Arum. I don't know what Anthony Joshua was smoking. There is zero chance of Kubrat Pulev stepping aside to allow the fight. Also, Tyson Fury is fighting Deontay Wilder. Period. Arum don't know what he's smoking. You know what I'm saying? So, bottom line is, that was kind of weird. I was sitting back chilling, actually, watching the old Floyd Mayweather fight. Let me tell you, by the way, if you hate Floyd Mayweather, don't watch none of his old fights so you can keep hating. But if you mess around and watch some, I'm going to do a video about that too, and it's going to be pretty much detailed. You don't, if you hate Floyd Mayweather, don't look at any of his old fights, and definitely not the lead up. So you can, because that would show you how significant the people he was fighting were. But we'll get into that too. But that's what I was doing, trying to watch him and Hernandez, Floyd Mayweather versus Janelle Hernandez, right when he first got his first title. And I just said, let me read something real quick, see what's going on in the world of boxing. And read that title, I'm like, man, John McEnroe showed up. You cannot be serious, right? So let's see what happens. It's out there already. I wish he wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Because it's a bad look, AJ. It's a bad look. It looks like to anybody who cares that he just doesn't want a part of Deontay Wilder. Even after yesterday talking about Deontay Wilder was humiliated, annihilated by your boy Tyson Fury. But hey, it probably is, and he had some good points too. It's like, hey, when you go into a war, you don't want to have one weapon. I'm like, shoot, that's a good point. You don't want to have that one weapon, that right hand. But I know that that's not the truth. Now, Deontay Wilder relies on it too much, but it's like what's funny about Deontay Wilder is many times broke the right hand. When one fights against Chris Arreola and Bermain Stavern with one hand, throwing the left jab, the left hook, the left jab, left hook, just hitting it right every now and then, even though you really couldn't, right? He can. Seems like he just it keeps winning that way and got in a situation. So Josh was not wrong about saying, you need more weapons when you go into a war like that. And, one day that weapon's going to be taken away, and then what are you going to do? And that's the kind of question that you'd be asked when you fight Floyd Mayweather. He takes away your weapon. Andre Ward takes away your best weapon, and then what do you do? So yes, Deontay Wilder has to work on that. But it would have been nice to see Anthony Joshua be the one to do that instead of talking about it, especially when you had the opportunity. I mean, if anybody, can we agree on that? Even Anthony Joshua fans who's already thumbed down and left, if you still have around, we could possibly agree that Anthony Joshua had the biggest opportunity to fight Deontay Wilder, right? I'm pretty sure we can agree that if anybody Deontay Wilder wanted to fight, I think it was Anthony Joshua the most, and it didn't happen. So it's not really cool to see Anthony Joshua talking about that. It seems a little delusional at this point. But let's see what the reaction is to people. The reaction from Shelly Finkel and Bob Arum is, what the hell was he smoking? And there's no chance of him fighting Tyson Fury now. So they can actually just stop it. But they won't. Dome with Sports Talk worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.